think we're able to gain some good momentum as we headed into the postseason. My challenge for the guys was next year starts now, with how we carry ourselves, what we do on and off the floor, the preparations that we have heading into the upcoming season. So I think for our guys, the level of excitement, we talked about what they needed to be doing in the classroom and preparing their bodies and their minds and their games for the opportunities we have with the upcoming season. At the end of every year, you look and you evaluate, your needs and where you're at, and you're always going to have some type of transition that takes place and change that takes place, at the end of the season. For us, we lost a staff member and a dear friend of mine, a guy that very, very dear to me, and Dan Hifsher. Got an opportunity to go on and become the head coach at Texas Pan American, and on one hand, you're extremely excited for him and the opportunity that he has, but on the other hand, it's losing, almost like losing a family member when you talk about what he meant to myself and our staff. For me personally, it's a guy that gave me an opportunity, that believed in me when I was a 16-year-old kid down in Miami, and he was an assistant coach at the University of Dayton, and came down and recruited me and brought Coach Donaher in, and they gave me an opportunity to play college basketball and get an education. And that's something I was always grateful for, that he saw enough in me to want to bring me into the family and give me an opportunity. And then as a head coach in high school, after my first season and trying to build a program, he called and said, "I'm going to be the head coach at Stetson University, and I want you to be one of my assistants." And I hadn't even thought about college basketball at that time. I was trying to get our team together, and luckily I was smart enough to take that opportunity, and he was a great guy to work for, and obviously, you look a few years later and had the opportunity to add him to our staff, and he was an integral part of the success that we had, and certainly a resource for myself and our family and our staff. We've been, pretty hectic. It's been, since the season ended, with, recruiting and adding to this year's class, preparing for next year's class. What I've done right now is just kind of put that on hold, okay? And I think we've got enough in the office where we can manage what we're doing now. Once this weekend will end our opportunities to go off campus and recruit. So once we do that, I'll settle down and make some final decisions in terms of what I want to do. Very fortunate that the staff that we have in place right now is more than capable of dealing with what we've got to deal with at this point. So I feel like I can kind of take my time and make sure we get the right piece in. He's a guy that, as a junior college transfer, came and played here for 2 years and earned his degree, did an outstanding job in the classroom. And at the end of the year, decided that he wanted to play a 5th year in a different situation. And I think for Musa, looking at his options, I think he felt like that was the best thing for him, and certainly as his coach, I want him to be happy and fulfill his goals and dreams, and I think it's a good opportunity. I don't think he's made a final decision yet, but I'm sure he'll do a great job wherever he lands. Trevor Lacey decided that he was going to transfer after 2 years here, and certainly, for us, we appreciate all of his efforts and what he did during his 2 years here, and certainly wish him the best of luck. Any time there's change, there's always, some element of surprise, but probably about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, his mom and dad came in and met with me and expressed a desire for him to have that option to transfer. So I talked with them, and they kind of expressed, I think, for them, where he was in terms of the opportunities that he had here, where he was in terms of his overall development. And I think for them it was more of, okay, we want to explore some different options. After I met with them, Trevor came in and we all met together, and I think his thing was more of, he understood where they were coming from, but at the same time, I think Trevor's a great kid. I think he enjoyed his teammates and understood what I was asking of him and what he needed to do. But I think what they wanted to do was get together as a family. I think this past weekend they met as a family. He came back, and I think on Tuesday met with me and said that as a family they decided that that's what they thought was in their best interest. So certainly for me, I enjoy coaching them. I think anytime there's change, whether it's a transfer, whether it's a guy going pro, or for whatever happens, whether it's injury or whatever. I think it always creates an opportunity. If you look at, we're 6-0 going into November, and Carl goes down, with an ACL about 2 minutes into the Cincinnati game. Well, he had earned the starting spot at the center position. Up to that point, I thought he was really starting to play some pretty good basketball for us. So at the time, you look, and we've got Carl Engstrom starting, we've got Nick Jacobs and Musa coming off the bench, and somewhat of a three-headed monster at the center spot. With Carl going down, now that creates an opportunity for Musa and Nick to kind of split those minutes. Okay, and I think obviously they're different type of players. They brought different things to us over the course of the season. But I think, at that time, Carl had done a great job in terms of separating himself. And I've said this from the time he stepped on campus, one of the hardest working guys that I've had the pleasure to coach, and he, John Moore, our trainer, told me about 2 or 3 weeks ago that the doctors said that Carl's ability to get himself back to get ready to play is probably top 5 that they've seen of somebody coming off the injury that he had. Not top 5%, but top 5 period. And I think it's a testament to his work ethic. By the end of our last team workout, he was able to go through contact drills with our guys, and that's remarkable considering what was it 5-6 months ago that he's coming off an ACL surgery and rehab. So he's really worked hard to come off of that. So I'm excited about the opportunity for him. I think when you look at him and Nick Jacobs and the front court guys we have coming in, and Jimmy Taylor and Shannon Hale, I think it gives us a good nucleus with the other guys that we also have that'll be returning, and then, for the other guys at the wing positions, I thought by the end of the year, Retin Obasanjan had really stepped up, and I'm excited for the opportunity that he has. We've got a guy like Rodney Cooper, who had to play a lot of 4 last year, can probably swing back to his natural position on the wing a little bit. Levi Randolph is a guy that I thought may have been playing as good a basketball as anybody in our league, or especially on our team at the end of the year. I thought he really figured some things out there at the end, so I'm excited for him. And then, to bring in a guy like Algie Key, who I think fits our style of play extremely well. He's a guy that's extremely humble, excited about the opportunity to be here, very decorated accomplishments that he achieved at the junior college ranks. He's an older guy that comes in, I think with an appreciation for the opportunity, and I think he'll be a great addition to our team. And obviously, you look at Trevor Relaford, an all-conference guard that comes back, and our most experienced guy. So, I think, with the pieces that we have, Devontae Pollard is a guy I think that gained valuable experience, as a freshman, last year, and I think just with maturity and understanding, I think he's got a chance to be outstanding. So. That's a great question. I guess for me, I'm never going to be satisfied. You probably have, one coach in the country right now that's satisfied with the way his team, finished. I think anytime, you don't achieve all the goals that you want to achieve, there's a level of disappointment. So certainly for me, I'm no different. I want more for our team. But at the same time, I think perspective, you always have to keep that. I think, I understand, coming in here that this was going to be a building process, and our first year, I think we won 17 games and went 6-10 in the league, and then we were able to win a division championship the next year, win 12 games in our league. I think we won 25 games, made it to the finals of the NIT. But certainly, that was progress, to be able to accomplish that. But we wanted more. And the next year, we were able to get to the NCAA tournament. And, we went through some bumps in the road to get there, but we made it in and lost a heartbreaker at the buzzer, to Creighton. And that was progress, but certainly we wanted more. For this year, again, started off undefeated and had a rough patch in December. Won 12 games again in the league. Go to the NIT again, and certainly for us, I think, to be able to do the things that you talked about in terms of getting the Sweet 16s, the first part of that is getting to the tournament, and consistently getting to the tournament. During my 10 years at Florida, we went to the national championship game in 2000, And then from that point up into the championship in 2006, we got to the tournament, lost in the first round, or won the first game, lost the second game for 5 or 6 straight years.